I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on the Spotlight Network, we're diving into an enchanting world of cloud castles, dragon riders, and the power of the subconscious mind. The name of the book, I Sleep in the Stars. It's written by a terrific author. His name is Phil Hammet, and he has written a breathtaking fantasy that follows Andri, a young heroine on a mission of self-discovery that will challenge everything she knows. If you love epic adventures, hidden wisdom, and mind-expanding journeys, you won't want to miss this beautiful book. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put him in the spotlight today, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book. The links are below the interview. And be sure to download the Spotlight Network TV app streaming on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV. Phil, great to see you, my friend. Thank you so much for joining me.
Well, thank you for having me. This is great. This is exciting.
It's exciting to have you on the show. This is such an original story. Tell us a little bit about Andri and her adventure in the book.
Well, this is the cover, by the way, and this is a picture of Andri. And it actually, this is one book that you probably can judge by its cover because this kind of tells a lot of the story here. So Andri is sleeping here. I sleep in the stars. She lives in the clouds. So this is a picture of her sleeping in the clouds, and this star represents her inner star.
Mhm.
And there are some constellations in the background. This is actually the constellation Andrea,
Mhm.
or I'm sorry, Andromeda, and that's where her name came from. But I've kind of switched things around. Instead of in the myth, Andromeda was chained to the rocks in the Greek myth, and she was rescued by Perseus.
Mhm.
And instead of that, I wanted Andri to be a sort of the savior, the hero of this story.
Mhm.
So it's part of my theory that I think the world has to be more compassionate, nurturing, and caring, and so that's those things are represented by Andri in this.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Um,
And the artwork is beautiful. The cover is beautiful. I see more of the pictures behind you. Is that your artwork or did you collaborate with an artist? Tell us a little bit about that.
that's all my artwork actually.
Wow.
Yes, these this is some pictures from the book.
Mhm.
Um, I well, to understand my whole perspective here, um, the thing that you should know is that my mother was an artist
Mhm.
and my father was an electronic engineer, and so I had these two sort of dynamics, this dichotomy of thinking. And I went into college. I wanted to be a marine biologist, and I totally believed in science. I still believe totally in science. But what I found is that science doesn't totally explain the whole universe. There are all these kind of mysterious things that it doesn't explain.
Mhm.
And I took this course in Jungian psychology where we had to study our dreams. It was actually my professor was a astrophysicist, and so I got into dreams, and I've ever since I've been into connecting with my subconscious, and that's
Mhm.
been a resource for ideas. I've come up with. I write music. I have 4 CDs that I came up with original songs with the name Sweet Abyss, and
Mhm.
so I write music, and I wrote this song kind of based on this idea, and the paintings behind me were to illustrate that song.
Mhm.
So originally, the book was going to be a book that just illustrated the song lyrics,
Yeah.
and then a publicist told me, "No, you have to write the story." So I said, "Okay," and so I put it on the back burner for a while, and then I got drawn into writing the story. It was really fascinating, and I talked about Italy and some of the illustrations were inspired by what we saw in Italy, and so it's really been a mind-opening experience for me, and I hope that this helps to stimulate children and people of all ages to
Yeah.
connect with that inner self, what
That
I
was,
call the inner star.
yeah, I was going to ask you, who is your target audience for this book? Because I do see children enjoying it and I see adults enjoying it as well, because it really has broad appeal. It's really magnificent to look at, and the prose is beautiful as well.
Well, thank you. Yes, well, that's what surprised me, that adults seem to enjoy this, and it seems to a lot of them say this brings me back to my childhood, and I really think that children sometimes have a better sense of intuition than adults, because
Mhm.
over our lifetime we have to live in this physical world, and we learn to we have to learn all these things that teach us cause and effect, cause and effect, cause and
Mhm.
effect. But the universe is more than that. And by tapping into that subconscious, Jung talks about this collective unconscious. And there's a process that I use called heart math breathing,
Mhm.
which connects the heart with the brain. It helps to form that connection, and it's been an incredible resource for me. And so I want to pass that on to other people.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well,
So,
you've done a great job in doing that with this book. Talk to us a little bit about the theme of self-discovery and how it shapes the story.
all right. Yes. Well. Yeah. It starts with dreams. That's why I have that this dream sequence that's behind me, and but it goes beyond that. And Jung talks about sometimes dreams are, he calls them big dreams, and they have substantial meaning. And an example of that would be this. I can show this page
Mhm.
here. This is Andri dreaming about a flower, and the bee comes and pollinates the flower. And actually, ironically, this is from I do these exercises. I taught for 17 years, and I did these exercises with my art students. I also taught Odyssey of the Mind. I was a coach, and so I would do these exercises with my students. And ironically, one of them, after the exercise, he said, "I saw this flower with a bee coming to it." And I said, "Well, what do you think that means?" And we talked about how bees pollinate flowers, and it's a metaphor really for the subconscious mind and that resource that I've been talking about, that it's pollinating, figuratively, is pollinating your mind, your conscious mind, so that
Mhm.
you can use that resource.
Yeah. Your artwork is so beautiful. Tell us a little bit about how you create it, what type of medium you use, and tell us about that process.
Well, thank you. Yes, well, these are acrylic paintings.
Hmm.
Um, I do like working with acrylic because it dries quickly, and oil paints tend to be I don't like the smell of them. It affects my brain. So I work with acrylic paints. I do sketches, and then I paint those in acrylic. And well, one example of I don't know if I can show this, but this is, let's see how this works. There's a little too much reflection, I guess.
I can see a little
But
bit of it. It looks like a village along the coast, perhaps in Italy.
yes, this
Yep.
is the view from our apartment in Italy,
Gorgeous.
and it shows how the you can see the Tyrrhenian Sea in the background. And what happens is the sea comes into this valley that's below our apartment, and we found the seagulls would come in the afternoon. uh, It was like clockwork. They would come up and they would just ride the air
Mm.
and circle around in that rising air, that has the sea air coming up and being warmed by the hills. And I was just fascinated by the fact that they were just playing. They weren't looking for food. They were just having a good time. And I said, I got to put this in the book. So I'll show you the picture today. So this picture, this painting was inspired by that. And so you see Andri and you see the seagulls in the background, circling around. And so
Gorgeous.
she with her dragon, she rides the air with her dragon, Uccello. But
Yeah. I think people should buy this book, read it, buy a second copy, cut out the pictures and frame them because I think they'd be beautiful decorations around any child's bedroom or anybody's house because they're really magical, very mystical, very dreamy, and I love them. Have you envisioned this as a animated film or a short or anything like that?
absolutely, yes. I don't know if I can play a little bit of the music in the background here, but um, this is the song that actually inspired the book. And I get in this version, I had a local singer,
Nice.
and so
Now,
I
did
won't
you
play the
write
whole thing.
that song? Did you write that song, Phil?
So I wrote that song, and
Nice.
that this is, people wonder, well, how do you do all these things? And I said, I tap into that inner self, that
Yeah.
inner star, and so that's
Wonderful.
I think. Well, thank you.
You're a triple threat. You're an artist, you're a musician, and you are a writer, and it is all top notch. I love the music you just played. I love the images from this book, and of course, I love the book itself. The name of the book is I Sleep in the Stars. It's written by Phil Hammet. It's a breathtaking fantasy that follows Andri, a young heroine, on a mission of self-discovery that will challenge everything she knows. It is highly recommended by the Spotlight Network. Phil, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure, sir. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time until next time on Spotlight.